Hi there everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Slinky and I'm going to be telling you guys about a story that I recently started reading, an anime that's coming out July 2025 on Crunchyroll, and something that I feel like everybody who's into anime should most likely read because it's just that good, okay? Now, I've tried to write a script a couple of times and it came out feeling a little bit too robotic for something that's as wild and free as Gachiakuta. Gachiakuta is a story about trash, class elites, slums, revenge, and about having good times and vibing with your friends while you have the time to, and trying to balance the two. But before we get into that, I'll tell you a couple of reasons why I believe that you should be reading Gachiakuta. And first, it's going to be the world. The world is extremely vast, with you being thrown into a floating city world, and everything is thrown right on top of its head, where you see two people split as tribesfolk, or these exiled people who are dwelling in slums, versus the high class people. And you catch Rudo rummaging through the trash trying to find discarded treasures, or things that he deems a treasure that everybody else deems trash. So, as he happens to get caught off in this world, you find out that there's the world where it's floating above in these clouds, a beautiful dystopian world, and then you have the underbelly, or the abyss and the pit, which everybody fears being thrown into. Everything gets discarded there, whether it be trash or it's unwanted people. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the characters in this story and why I feel like they pop out, why you should be into them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about the world by explaining the world and how it functions. You have cities, and the whole world kind of takes heart in that underbelly, that dark, gritty world where the pit lies in, and trying to get back to that main world is where we're trying to go through. So, you have cities that are covered in these huge natural growing barriers above the cities, and this keeps everything from like falling into like domains and killing people down below. Then you also have the uh, the cleaners. The cleaners are people who go out, and because of all this trash that's being thrown down, somehow in some way it becomes sentient and they start attacking all these people. So whenever they start being attacked, you have to rely on these people called cleaners. And cleaners have these special vital instruments called that have souls in them, called jinki. After cherishing and caring for some item for a prolonged period of time, it's possible that you get chosen to have a jinki inside of your vital instrument, and it gives you a super boost of power whenever it's used. Sometimes changing elements, other times making it to where it can shapeshift, or sometimes just giving you a super awesome, overwhelming attack whenever you're doing something. And this relates to the power scaling that's inside of the show and the series as a whole. Now, we're going to talk about some of those characters I was hinting at before. Those characters are amazing because they're super iconic, instantly spotting, easy to spot out whenever you're looking at a lineup. They give you a sort of feel of Katsuri from My Hero Academia. One character, Engine, gives you that feel of Jujutsu Kaisen's character, and then you have this the sleekness of another character named Zonka that kind of makes you feel like you're in a fantasy uh, monk style series. But each character brings their own power to the table. They each have a special vital instrument that kind of enhances their personality traits, so you can really tell who they are and what they stand for right off the back. Engine's got this crazy streetwear, street punk fashion vibe. Uh, then you have Rudo, who's our protagonist, that's scrappy and edgy, kind of having that Chainsaw Man kind of vibe to him. It's just a wonderful thing to kind of see with characters that pop out and seem so gripping as soon as you meet them. Next, we'll talk about the fights, the powers, and the abilities, and how they seem to scale throughout the series. you have so many different ways that these cherished items could be. The vital instruments could be anything from a stick to a pair of gloves, boots, comb, scissors, umbrella, whatever you're thinking of, you name it. It could be a jacket that you happen to treasure a lot. And this is what gives such a range of how you can see powers used. It's almost like My Hero Academia, where you keep thinking, how is this character going to use this power in order to like boost or get anything done? It just doesn't seem possible. But then you start reading, you get past it, and chapter after chapter, you're seeing each power used in more of a different way. In fact, there's a character who has a pair of scissors, and you would imagine that they would use the scissors with their hand, but they somehow manage to use the scissors with their feet, and they have a whole entire way of fighting and attack patterns that are based off of using their legs, which is insanely awesome. Turning something that you would normally see and flipping it right onto its head. Gachiakuta really blends together a seamless, awesome world that's dystopian, gritty, and has all these characteristics of being something that you should read, and also still having to have a revenge story that's still somewhat gripping and heartwarming whenever you read it. It's amazing to watch the Rudo grow and develop as a character over each page, and seeing how he comes to terms with his betrayal and how he's going to like make everything right. And of course, his own idea of what's right doesn't seem to match up with main protagonists and stories. Some might even say he could be an anti-hero if given the opportunity, but we haven't gotten that far yet. So who knows what's going to happen to him. But I know that I'm going to be there watching every single chapter, reading every single page, and I'm also going to be there and binge watching every single episode that's out there. I think as of right now, it's got 14 volumes, uh, which is pretty good to keep you busy until you finally get that out. Like I said, in July 2025 on Crunchyroll, and there's no better way than to support than to pick up a copy. But other than that, that's gonna be all for my little manga spotlight today. I look forward to making some longer form content for you guys and posting something on the channel, so then you guys can have a playlist of manga that you should read or anime that you should watch. But until then, that's gonna be all for me. Until then, peace.